Bradley Barcola is worth 125, 120 million, whatever PSG want for him. And we're going to tell you exactly why in this video. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. We're here going to be talking about Bradley Barcola and why Liverpool and Arsenal should both be willing to pay that much money for Barcola. Obviously, he's been linked to both clubs from the start of the transfer window. Make sure, guys, check out our sponsor, OK Jersey. Use code MHF. This is where I got this shirt from. And all the shirts, you guys, 15 quid. You're going to get a high-quality shirt. And use the code for getting 8% off as well. Anyway, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Bradley Barcola. Now, I know this is a player that divides opinion among many. I know this is a player that many people like to speak about. I'm going to use his PSG teammate as an example, Desiree Doué. If I said Desiree Doué to Arsenal or Desiree Doué to Liverpool, everyone would be like, oh yeah, Desiree Doué, oh my God, I'd take him. He's got loads of potential. He's an incredible player, yada, 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 yada. Bradley Barcola has outscored Desiree Doué at PSG in Ligue A 2 seasons in a row. Now, we can't use the system excuse or the manager excuse or the league is weak excuse because it's the same manager and the same team and the same system and the same league. I'm not saying Bradley Barcola is better than Desiree Doué, but I do think that some way, somehow, we have become a generation of football fans that judges a player via a moment. Because Bradley Barcola missed a chance against Arsenal in the Champions League final, all of a sudden everyone's going to pretend he's crap. Desiree Doué was locked up by Hinchcapia. Kvaratskhelia was locked up by Mosquera. And then when Desiree Doué went to the other side, he was again locked up. So, would any of you guys take Kvaratskhelia? Yes. Would any of you take Desiree Doué? Yes. So just because Bradley Barcola missed the chance in the Champions League final, that does not mean he's a bad player, you guys. That doesn't mean, like, Ronaldo and Messi have missed chances in Champions League finals. We can't let moments like that cloud our judgment of a player. Now, in terms of his ability as a player, what can Bradley Barcola do on the pitch? First of all, for the ones that are subscribed to me for a long time, and people in the chat will vouch, people in the comment section can vouch for me. I've wanted him from when he was at Lyon. This is not you. I'm a massive fan of Bradley Barcola. I've been wanting Bradley Barcola at Liverpool Football Club. You know, I hope we sign him over Arsenal. But his ability is the type of player that can get the ball, dribble past 3-4 players, create a chance, create an opportunity, score a goal. Does his finishing need fine-tuning? Yes. But who are the wingers that doesn't need to fine-tune their finishing in the world right now? Who? Vinny Jr., you know, Salah is gone. You know, so Salah is out the picture in the Premier League. Which winger in the league doesn't need to fine-tune his finishing and get better in the final third? All of them do, really. I've seen people complain about Bukayo Saka's decision-making in the final third. I've seen people complain about all the wingers, Semenyo, every single player. So when we say he needs to fine-tune his finishing, I agree. He needs to get better in the final third. But my question becomes, which player doesn't need to get better in the final third? All of them do. But his technique, his ability to hold the width, his ability to get past his fullback, you know, the fact that he's a risk taker makes him a valuable asset. Now, in terms of the price, because I know this is the main talking point, with all due respect, I'm not even going to be disrespectful. City is going to pay 115 or 116 million for Elliot Anderson. Now, I won't even exaggerate, but if I got 100 people from this audience alongside myself and we watched every single League A game this season, no exaggeration, we could find 10 to 15 Elliot Andersons in the French league who would cost 10 million. This is the reality. This is the reality. I'm not even trying to be insulting. I'm not even trying to disrespect, but it's the truth. I think City have ruined this transfer window for us all. Paying that much money for Elliot Anderson, who, in my opinion, is a good midfielder, but he's nothing special. I'm not even going to exaggerate, say he's bad or anything. He's a good midfielder, but he doesn't have any special traits. Of course, PSG are going to ask that much money for Bradley Barcola. And now, I'm going to ask you guys the $1 million question. The winger market. Who's there in the winger market? Who's available? For us, at Liverpool, we're looking at the likes of Minte. God forbid we sign him for 70, 80 million. And Arsenal have been linked to the likes of Zolas, Yildiz. Now, Zolas is unproven at this level, but he's a backup player anyway if he comes into Arsenal. So I think it will be a very good signing regardless. But he's a backup player. Let's look at the other options. Kenan Yildiz. Who says Kenan Yildiz is proven? Who says Kenan Yildiz is better than Bradley Barcola to begin with? Who says Kenan Yildiz has the capabilities that Bradley Barcola does? And also, Kenan Yildiz is worth £100 million. So he's not like a lot cheaper than Bradley Barcola. It's not like Bradley Barcola is 120 million and Kenan Yildiz is 70, 80 million, 75 million. No, Kenan Yildiz is also a £100 million player. Brighton wants 70 for Minte. Aston Villa want 130 million for Morgan Rogers. This is the truth of the market. The market sometimes dictate what you do. And I personally believe, and this is my personal belief, you don't have to agree with it, of course. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But my personal belief is that Bradley Barcola is better than the options available. And let's say he signs for Arsenal or he signs for Liverpool. Let's put Saka to the side. Let's give Saka the first place now that Salah is gone. Objectively, he becomes probably the second best winger in the whole league. He immediately, as soon as he walks in, becomes the second best winger in the league. Bradley Barcola, that is. PSG are going to sign Diomande. They're linked to signing Akliush as well. They're linked to signing Ferran Torres. Bradley Barcola will become the fifth or sixth option. He comes to Arsenal, he starts on the left-hand side. He comes to us, he starts either on the left or on the right. He can start both sides as well. So for me, sometimes the market dictates what you do. On paper, how much is Bradley Barcola worth? On paper, 80 million, 75, 85 million, 90 million. He's worth that much. So yes, you are overpaying in a sense. First of all, I think PSG will probably accept, because you've got to negotiate as well. PSG will probably accept around 110 million, in my opinion, for Bradley Barcola, 110 million pounds, which in the grand scheme of things is probably cheaper than Elliot Anderson and is not that much of an overpay given the state of the market. Who's actually available in the winger market? Arsenal are linked to Zolis from Club Brugge. Liverpool have signed Victor Munoz. With all due respect, when you look at the winger market, it's not like it's infested with talented players for 60, 70 million. I repeat, Aston Villa want 130 million for Morgan Rogers. So this notion that, you know, Bradley Barcola is this overpaid, like so much expensive player, I don't think it's true given the current conditions of the market. And he comes in and he becomes an immediate difference maker. I think Arsenal are going to win the league again. I think they have the easiest chance to back-to-back. I think they have the team. I think they have the squad. I think they have the capabilities. If they sign Bradley Barcola, their front line can talk to anyone. Their front line can talk to anyone in the league. If we sign Bradley Barcola, you've got Barcola, Isak, Wirtz. Now you're cooking. Now you're excited. And I think he brings excitement to the teams. I think he brings excitement to the league. I think he brings excitement to the wing position in general. And he's a player that's very technically gifted. He's a player that has all the capabilities to hurt opposition. And one other important thing is Bradley Barcola doesn't play for Brighton, doesn't play for Bournemouth, doesn't play for any of these teams. So with PSG, he comes up against low blocks often in Ligue A. He is someone who has played against low blocks almost week in, week out his whole career at PSG. Therefore, he's used to unlocking low blocks. So if he signs for an Arsenal or for a Liverpool, he could come in and he can be someone who can unlock a low block. He can be someone who can, you know, if you're playing a team at home or away from home who are solid defensively, like a Brentford, someone like that, you know, one of them stubborn teams that need breaking down. Bradley Barcola is capable of doing that. He can get past 3-4 players, and then your number 10, your striker, your winger on the other side will be able to make those runs, and Bradley Barcola will be able to find them. So I think he's a goal-scoring winger. I think he's technically very gifted. I think he's someone who could definitely make a difference for my club, hopefully, you know, and or Arsenal, because they're linked to him as well. But I think Bradley Barcola is a phenomenal player. I think he's a phenomenally talented player. And I think he's actually overhated by so many people because of a moment here or a moment there. Like, oh no, he missed a chance here. Oh no, he missed a chance there. Guys, players miss chances. Like, we can't be one of them people who exaggerate every time because of a big moment or something like that. Because if I use that logic against everyone, it'll be dark. It'll be dark. You know, you look at Desiree Doué's performance in the Champions League final, Kvaratskhelia performance in the Champions League final, Ousmane Dembele's performance in the Champions League final. Bro, all of them didn't play well. That's the truth. That's the truth. So we can't use that specific game as an example. I think Arsenal's best player in the Champions League final was Miles Lewis Skelly. I'm not going to sit up here and say Lewis Skelly is better than Declan Rice because he's not. So for me, I'm not going to use one game as a measuring stick. I'm using the whole season. I'm using what the player is capable of. I'm using the ability. I'm using the eye test. I'm using the stats. And I think this player would make a huge impact on the league. He would make a huge impact on Arsenal if he signs for them, God forbid. And he would make a huge impact on us if he signed for us. And I hope we do pay the money, because the other option for us is Minte. And I would pay 150 million for Barcola instead of paying 70 for Minte. Anyway, this is my thoughts on the Bradley Barcola situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. Follow me on Instagram as well, and add me on the Snapchat. And I'll see you guys later, man. Peace out.